Welcome back, you guys. Okay. All right, so I'm just going to start you guys right off. I have a shorter recap this time. So previously on Wild Beyond the Witchlight, so after you guys gave Bavlorna the beautiful wedding gift of a dead animal carcass box procured by Sir Illig, Bavlorna rushed off into her taxidermy workshop, leaving you all alone with the Darkling charm. She makes a quick and sassy exit back to her balloon. The party decides to jump Bavlorna while she is unattended in her taxidermy workshop, and the Soggy Court is distracted by the goings-ons on this morning, i.e., discovering King Gullup's death. Meow Wolf lurks down to catch Bavlorna in her workshop and starts chatting with her about her different horrible chimeras. Meow Wolf wild shapes into a giant toad, instigating a fight, and Klarga and Zindi jump into the room along with Sir Talavar. The party makes quick work of her, and before finishing her off, they ask her a few questions. Zindi, you cast Zone of Truth on her, and you ask about your mother, Alestra. Bavlorna states that the elven woman is currently being held by Skabatha. You guys also figure out one of the big mysteries of the campaign, which I have been absolutely loving. You guys figure out that the reason no one in the Fae can address Meow Wolf by their true name is due to the fact that they were crowned the Witchlight Monarch. So Meow Wolf swallows up Bavlorna and burps up 3 keys that unlock her personal quarters. So you guys rush upstairs to loot anything you can before anyone realizes something is amiss. Upstairs, you guys retrieve a stag skull, an unpunched ticket from the Witchlight Carnival, 3 spell scrolls of Identified tied together with a loot string, and a helm. Zindi, you reached into a bronze frog statue and you pull out a still beating heart, which is Octavia's lost heart. You end up giving this to Sir Talavar, and you guys have a short but sweet goodbye with Sir Talavar after a big group hug. And it is also to be noted that you guys saw something a little bizarre in Bavlorna's hoard, an injured Lornling that was hurt by some unknown entity. Lady Morgort and Clapperclaw made good on their promise, and as the party swims over to the swamp balloon, you finally escape Hither, taking the swamp balloon, having defeated Bavlorna, breaking the curse on this piece of Prismere, with all your loot in hand, like literally just everything to a T that you wanted to do. So, here's just like a couple of different things. One, I've already added everything to your guys' inventory, so just know that's all in your backpack and everything. 2, it is very crowded in this swamp balloon here. It's really not meant for 6 people. It was going to be pretty cozy with 3 people. So it's just not a ton of room. You guys basically have room to sit. And like, you know, Klarga's going to have to maybe stand since Klarga's probably the biggest.
Who else is with us again besides Snoodles?
Clapperclaw and Lady Morgort.
Got it.
So you guys are pretty confident that you guys are going to be going to Thither, where Skabatha is, and hopefully where Alestra is still being held. Klarga, you're still looking for Star, and you are also keeping your eyes open for Burley's twin, Hurley, who had been like lost many years ago.
Yes.
You're kind of picking up now. Oh, all those people didn't just like run off from the carnival. Those people are here. And you know, I'm sure that there's people who attended the carnival who are also here. But those are kind of the 3 main old carnival people. Also noted, we didn't get a chance to say goodbye to Blanc, but Lady Morgort and Clapperclaw, they mention on the ride over. The ride takes like a day. They mention on the ride over that they're basically going to drop you off, and that they want to go back and sort of like they know that Bavlorna is dead, because obviously you guys tell them. So they're going to kind of go back and sort of like make sure everything's all good with the soggy court.
Got it.
Things are going to be in weird
People were
disarray.
clearly like charmed or whatever, so like
Correct.
they might need.
Yeah, they're going to need help. Sorry, one more time.
So they might want some information and explanation.
Yeah, like they're going to have questions that need to be answered. Also, Meow Wolf, you still have the beautiful old book, The One True King, that you took from the king's library quarters.
Yeah, did Meow Wolf ever read that, or like?
Go ahead and Meow Wolf. Meow Wolf, do you read?
Can you read?
Can you? You can only read Druidic and Grung.
And Common.
Okay, and Common. Okay, so Zindi, you read Sylvan, correct? Okay.
I do.
Could you roll an Arcana check with advantage?
Okay, how do I roll with advantage?
You're just going to roll Arcana twice and then take the higher number.
Okay, cool. Well, my Arcana is +9. So, one day, Meow Wolf, I saw this book in Meow Wolf's thing, and I was like, wow, my lord, what is this book? And I assume...
it's an old book.
It's an old book. Well, it looks pretty important. I didn't know that you can read Sylvan, and...
I cannot.
Wow, real lucky that I get to roll with an advantage, because I first rolled 11.
Okay.
And now I roll 25, so...
Fantastic. Okay.
Oh, well, I read Sylvan.
Yes. So, now the reason I had you roll is because this is actually in a really old, like, dialect of Sylvan. It's not modern Sylvan. And, Zindi, you look at this book and you know, Meow Wolf mentioned it was old. I know you guys got it from King Gullop, and who really knows how long Bavlorna had been collecting, or where those books were from, or anything. But this book is old. It's almost kind of falling apart. Like, maybe at one time this book was very loved, but it maybe hasn't been cracked open in a while.
Okay.
The cover is like old red mahogany, and it just has in gold on the front The One True King. It's not like a super large book or anything. So you open it up, and this strikes you as something very interesting, because this is not really something you remember being in your childhood or anything like that. Like, you're not familiar with this story. The story that you heard that was a little bit more popular when you were a kid was the Frog Prince, or the Bullywug Prince, I should say. And this has fallen out of fashion. But either way, some of the words like don't translate for you, but this is the basic plot of the thing. The book tells of a prophecy, and it says that one day the Fae will become divided, and evil will spread across the land, and leaders will go mad with power. The three fates foresee a prophecy that there will be a true ruler to reunite the realms. However, the fates could not agree on who this person is. The past believe that a previous archfey will reclaim the crown and rule forever after. The present believes that there is a fae who has the power to reunite the kingdoms, but would never seek such power for themselves, meaning that the prophecy will never be filled, and the fae is doomed. The future believes that this ruler is not of Fae origin, and only an outsider can unite the kingdoms together in progress. To this day, the fates squabble and wait.
So what's the story that I'm more familiar with, i.e. the Frog Prince, and how is it related to the story? Because the Sylvan, or like the One True King, didn't have any mention of frogs, or did it?
Yeah, so it is sort of like the Frog Prince. You would assume that the reason that this lore had been buried is because it's kind of like a dark prophecy, right? Like it's about the three fates not agreeing on something, which doesn't really happen. And it also says that the Fae will be divided, which also has never happened, and like evil spreading across the land. One of them even believes that's just how the Fae will become. So you can kind of maybe, with a 25, you can assume that the reason that the Frog Prince kind of became a little bit more popular is it is way more of like a fairy tale setting. And it just talks about a bullywug king reuniting the Fae.
Ah, got it. So I guess we'll share that.
I should say, yeah.
Wow, now that we're leaving Froggy Court and I'm reading this book about the Fae being reunited, I mean, it's kind of weird because I always grew up with, of course, the Frog Prince. Classic story, right? Do you guys know that story, right? Or is that not a thing in...
Oh, I know that story. People would make jokes about kissing me all the time.
Oh, I think that's a different Frog Prince story. This one is about a bullywug king who saves and reunites the Fae, actually. It was always one of my favorites. So it's kind of funny that we just went to the bullywug court. I had kind of forgotten about it. Anyway, that's weird. This is a way sadder story. I hope we're not actually doomed. But, it's just fairy tales, right?
Sure.
It's just a fairy tale until it's not.
Exactly.
Do I think this is a fairy... sorry, I know this is kind of a character choice, but it's also, I guess, world. Do I recognize that, this type of book is, I assume, kind of myth, legend / fairy tale, or that it's,
So it's kind of interesting, right? Because... you're of Fae ancestry, and yes, there is a lot of shenanigans and nonsense and weird stuff that happens in the Fae.
Yeah.
So things that would seem very improbable in the mortal realm or the material plane maybe don't apply here. Now, very possibly, since you grew up in an elven culture, it would be very silly to imagine a bullywug prince coming and ruling the Fae. That's never happened. It's always a very powerful archfey of some different kind of magical origin. Bullywugs have always kind of just been considered a very low level sort of creature. Not elves think very highly of themselves. So I think for maybe Zindi in particular, this was just a very charming story. But you had never heard of these three fates one, and it gives you pause.
Got it. And I mean, I guess this book is really old. Really old. And I don't know. It's interesting that they had it at the Bullywug Court, I guess. Well, does that mean that you're going to be our Bullywug king, my lord?
I mean, if the Bullywug shoe fits. I don't mind taking care of these here lands.
I laugh and I pat Meow Wolf on the head a little bit.
Yeah, I don't think Meow Wolf wears shoes, but
I did presenting to the hag.
One more time?
Lady Duckington hooked me up with some nice shoes.
Oh, that's true. Yes, special bullywug shoes.
Yep.
I'm gonna say at this moment, Lady Morgort is sort of dealing with the balloon. Lady Morgort is the one who knows how to actually drive the balloon. And Clapperclaw is sleeping. Clapperclaw is actually a child, so they're a little worn out. So you guys take about a day to get to Thither. I'm gonna be a little mean and say you have two options here.
Okay.
So one, you can either opt to not take a long rest and just come into Thither however you guys are. I know you guys did just have a fight, so I'm not sure how damaged you guys are. I don't remember. I think you guys kind of womped on that fight. But you would just enter Thither how you are, or you may take a long rest, but you will suffer a level of exhaustion.
Sorry. Yeah, I accidentally already did long rest, which I
That's
guess
fine.
makes sense because I hit. Remember when I almost died diving? Haha. So what is the level? Are you accounting for the level of exhaustion, or is that something I have to put in?
Yes. So what you're gonna do is, do you see where it says current max hit points, and then right under that there's like a little box, defenses, and then conditions.
Yeah.
On conditions, you're gonna click, and then you're just gonna put 1 level of exhaustion.
There's everything.
Okay, so I'm gonna click long rest.
Blinded, charmed, deaf and frightened, grappled, incapacitated.
All the way down at the bottom.
Oh, lol. Hi. Thanks. 1. Cool. Okay. Thanks. Yeah. So what will that do?
So a level of exhaustion. Some special abilities and environmental hazards, such as starvation and long-term effects of freezing or scorching temperatures, can lead to a special condition. Blah blah blah. Disadvantage on ability checks, so you basically roll with disadvantage.
Got it.
Yeah. On ability checks, so not like saving throws or anything like that. Klarga, you good?
Yes, I hit long rest and then I hit 1 exhaustion.
Perfect. Meow Wolf, are you going to opt to take a level of exhaustion, or are you going to come to Thither as you is?
I should. There probably isn't any space for me to dip into my water sack, so I'm probably going to have to take the level of exhaustion. Where is it at the top?
Yes. So up at the top, you're going to see current max hit points, and then there's kind of like a little rectangle near armor class. Click on conditions. At the bottom, there is an exhaustion bar.
I see.
Yeah, there is just no room to sleep in the extremely small swamp basket. It's also very loud.
Yeah, I'm standing up. I pass out.
Yeah, I kind of figure you guys do that, when you're on a long bus ride or car ride, and you kind of just slump over each other. Okay, so early the next morning, you guys have been soaring over clouds, and you guys kind of come down a little bit, and you see a ton of mountains and such. And I gave you guys the map because my argument is you guys would kind of be able to see everything when you guys first came in. So I'm going to give you a very basic rundown. Now, I gave you guys the ones with the words on it. That's just for meta. You guys know where you're going. However, I'll tell you something about that in 1 sec. Okay, so first of all, while Hither was a swampy, dark, misty swampland, this is a thick forest, not a jungle. This is truly just a dense, woodsy forest. You guys see a long river kind of snaking through it. You guys see a couple different interesting things. The first thing you notice is that there's several fairy rings. Not like in the material world where they call a fairy ring a small circle of mushrooms. No, this is the large toadstools you guys saw Octavia in, and they're kind of just littered all over Thither.
Okay.
Another thing you see way over far is you see a large, almost seems to be moving. Could just be moving in the wind. It also could just be a trick of the swamp balloon. But you see a large tree. Has a flag at the top. Definitely signaling that someone is there. You guys see another sort of tree house as well, a little further down, you guys also see a large, like, sort of lake with a little bit of mountains behind it, and you also see a cave. Um, Everything else on the ground floor, you literally can't see anything because it's all just trees.
Hmm. Well, I guess I'll ask Lady Morgort. I turn or whatever, I look at Lady Morgort. I can't really turn to her and I say, "Excuse me, Lady Morgort. Can you tell me a little bit more about these places, or where do you think is most interesting for us to go?"
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. I've been to Thither a couple of times. Okay, so listen, jeez, it's been so long. Okay, she points to the pool, and she goes, something's mysterious about this pool. I always see it, but I can never get close to it. It's really bizarre. She goes, oh, now I do know someone who lives over here. His name's Nib. Kind of an older guy, just a normal human guy. He's got a little bit of baggage. Nice guy though, nice guy. I'm actually gonna drop you guys over by his cave, just over here.
Yeah, maybe
Now,
I should visit him first.
and now, listen, Skabatha, a little smarter than Bavlorna. Now her kind of deal is she's got a little bit of a sweatshop situation going on.
Oh, wow.
She well, long story short, she kidnaps kids. Like
What?
Lady Morgort looks over at Clapperclaw, who's still sleeping, and she goes, "Yeah, it's fucking horrible, but I think she has some kind of horrifying toy shop in there, and she just works them kids to death. And she sort of like pats um Clapperclaw's stag head that he has now, and is like, yeah, this little guy made it out from there. He used to call out in his sleep. um he he said all kinds of crazy shit. He mentioned let's see, he mentioned boggles, he mentioned red caps, he mentioned, oh, she gets like a really like, oh shit face, and she's like, he did mention a dragon.
Oh, my.
Little thing. Not a nice dragon. Not like Sir Talavar. Not like Sir Talavar. Although me and him, we got issues when I get back, but I think we'll be able to work through them now that everything's all good. But yeah, I hear Skabatha has a dragon. So watch for that. And yeah. Oh, and now, Clapperclaw did tell me this. He said that a couple of those kids managed to escape.
Wow.
That's all I got.
Okay, well,
You don't know where they went?
Geez. I mean, here's the thing. The Clapperclaw would have loved to go back and save the rest of those kids, but he's just one guy. He's just one guy, and he barely made it out in the first place.
and
Now,
he's but a young one. Well, that's something that we need to do. I think that we need to liberate those children. We need to save them. Besides saving my mother, I think that needs to go on the list. We can't leave them.
oh yeah, Skabatha's got to go. She's terrible. I heard that she killed a unicorn once.
Oh, wow. That's pretty terrible. I get kind of nervous because I have my unicorn horn and I'm holding it.
You like shove it deep into your pocket. You're like, oh,
Wow,
terrible.
that's creepy. No way. What did she? That means that she has a unicorn horn, right? That must make her really powerful.
I mean, yeah, she's no joke. She's no joke. She must be doing something to keep those kids there. But yeah, if she has the horn, she might just have the horn. I heard that she kept the unicorn.
The whole carcass?
No one
Well,
ever
we just
talked. Yeah, no one ever talked about a carcass. Someone just Clapperclaw always talked about how she had her own special steed and how it used to be a unicorn, and I don't know. He never really went into it. It was kind of a dark time for him. He kind of
Yeah.
does that little like thing in his sleep.
Yeah.
And
We don't need to stress him out too much.
yeah, Snoodles goes over and like curls up in his lap. And she goes,
Or do we have, or must we leave him with you all? They say,
Snoodles? Nah.
yeah.
Listen, he's just a baby. He's just a baby crocodile. We got lots of these. He's kind of attached to you guys. Actually, I think he likes you guys.
We gotta keep him.
Okay, done.
Yeah, I think that's just your pet crocodile now. So she kind of just gives you the rundown, and most of this she's kind of derived from just talking with Clapperclaw for a long time in the jail. Now Clapperclaw is like young, so some of the stuff that he told her like isn't making like a ton of sense, right? So like the whole like Skabatha has a unicorn. You guys are like, I don't know how that would work because like
well, Steve thinks it's a unicorn.
Right, exactly. So, like, there could be all sorts of things, but you guys know for a fact, like, unicorns do not reveal themselves to just anyone. It's kind of supposed to be like you gain their trust, and it's not like how the legends say where you can only be a virgin to touch them or anything like that. But you do have to be like pure of heart.
Okay. Is that why, like, also like having a unicorn horn is like so fucked up because like they have to like you first and then you like wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, and then you so basically some people say that being that close to a unicorn like drives you mad, and because it is a little bit contradicting to be like, oh, you can only be pure of heart, but then some people are able to get unicorn horns, but they are very, very, very rare. Clapperclaw just knows that there are some kids who are actively against Skabatha and that they are somewhere in Thither. But he doesn't have like an exact location for them, and he doesn't know how to like contact them or anything like that.
Well, let's start with your friend. He might be able to let us know what's going on in Thither.
Oh yeah, Old Nibsy. All right. Well, listen. Let me just. And she starts kind of trying to like land the swamp balloon, and you guys touch down just kind of right outside this sort of cave. So you guys touch down. It's slightly rocky, but Lady Morgort does a good job, and finally Clapperclaw wakes up, and he's sort of like sleepily. Well, yeah, are we going? Are we going? And Lady Morgort comes over and she goes, "Oh yeah, Clapperclaw. Listen, we're gonna go back home. We just gotta send these nice people off, and make sure." She turns around. She's like, "Is everything all good? I hate to leave you guys here, but I really have no choice. Listen, if you guys need someone to bail you out, I will be back in 8 days."
Okay.
Sounds good.
If you don't need my help, if you need a bailout and you can't deal with whatever's going on over here, just meet me back here at Nib's Cave 8 days from now. If you're not here, I mean, what? Maybe you guys will kick Skabatha's ass too.
We hope.
Well, thanks for your help.
Oh yeah, no problem. Hey, thanks for finally breaking me out of prison.
Absolutely.
She kind of like packs up the swamp balloon, and they sail up into the sky, and you guys are in Thither. So like I said, dark forest. You really only see light through the cracks in the trees. Now, everyone go ahead and give me a perception check.
Alrighty.
So how do I roll with disadvantage, or is
So
it?
you're gonna roll twice and then take the lower number.
Oh, okay. Well,
Inception.
I rolled a 22 and yay, 21.
Okay, sick.
I rolled a 19.
Oh, great. With disadvantage?
Yeah, with disadvantage.
Yeah.
Do I roll with disadvantage also?
Yes, you all roll with disadvantage because you're all exhausted.
Okay.
Oh my god.
You're like,
My back hurt. My arms hurt. That was a really uncomfortable.
Yeah, you guys take a minute to stretch.
Ride.
I got a 16 and then a 2.
No,
I can barely keep my eyes open. I'm just like, oh, bitch.
Klarga's like, it's a forest. Okay.
Here we are.
Classically perceptive Klarga. Okay. Zindi.
Yeah.
So this is a sprawling woodland, and you sniff the air, and you smell rot, and like
what? Rot?
Rot. Yeah, like just like rotting trees, decay, death. It smells bad.
That feels different.
It smells bad. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, guys, it smells really bad, and I just like kind of like pinch my nose. This isn't normal. I mean, I don't remember any forests in the Fae smelling like this. Jeez Louise. Of course, in this, I'm referring to the great elven goddess Louise. Clearly. Yeah. Saving the world building there. Something is definitely wrong. I mean, unless there were forests I never saw, but God, it smells like rotting. Blah. I just kind of gag.
Yeah, you like gag.
Yeah.
Smells like my ex-wife's craft room. Ugh.
Oh yes, I forgot that you've been married now, my lord.
Technically, Meow Wolf never got married. You were only betrothed.
Oh, my ex-fiance.
Yeah. Even sadder. Oh, when your fiance dies, even worse.
At least I will no longer see the heads of my brethren on spikes.
It's true, and hopefully that will be the end of that barbarous
and the best part was she never even got to try my soup.
Your soup?
My consomme!
Yes, indeed. And I look at Klarga and I wink.
Hold on. Let me retcon something. Meow Wolf.
Yes.
Would you like to send a message back to Vlonk?
Ooh, I do.
Okay.
Yes, with Lady Morgort.
You may either privately write something and you can just send it to me, or you can just tell her and she'll reiterate it.
I will tell her.
Okay.
So, please send my kindest regards to the sweetest fella who introduced me to his big sloppy fella.
Oh. Wait.
And then I got to imitate and reiterate the sloppy fella's charm. And for that, I am eternally grateful.
I look at Klarga and I whisper, I don't think that he hears himself.
I think you're onto something.
Leaving it over here.
And my final sentence, and with these thank yous, I bequeath you the best lands that we just saved. Goodbye.
Oh.
Who'd you say this was for?
This is for Blanc.
Oh, that Lady Morgort gets like kind of like a look on her face. She goes, "Oh yeah, yeah, that wussy guy, Long, the stable master."
Yes.
Yeah, sure. Okay. She like shows she writes something down like hastily on a parchment. Okay, yeah. What was that last line? Okay, yeah. Yeah, I'll make sure he gets it.
Bequeath you the lands.
Yeah. Bequeathing the lands. Yeah, I'll make sure that gets doled out to him. Okay. So
You are most. Thank you.
So go ahead. You guys are outside of Nib's cave. There's like a warm glow inside. It's like a cozy torchlight. You guys are like, oh my god, dude, I just want a dry, cold space to sleep. You see, Zindi, I'm going to say that you saw this with your 21 perception. Like near the cave, there's a tree and there's like a weathered sheet of parchment nailed to the trunk.
Oh, hey everyone, look at this.
Go ahead and roll me a d8, Zindi.
Seven.
Excellent. Okay, so I'm going to put something in the chat for you boys. So this is what this looks like. This is in our Discord chat on the side of the Something Wicked This Way Comes. Okay, so Zindi, you go up to this tree. You go up to this tree and
what side?
Oh, okay. So when you guys are in the voice channel, up top, on the top right under the X, when you kind of zoom over it, there's like a show chat box. Let me know if you guys struggle.
Sorry, I'm struggling. Just a boomer moment. I feel like I found it before. Show voice connected. I want to fucking show chat. Bruh. Donde?
Help. Top right? No.
Top right. Okay.
Yeah, top right. Sorry.
Locked. Help. Threads. Notification settings. Pin messages. Hide member list.
You're like in the voice channel, correct? You can also in the voice channel when you scroll over it, there's like an open chat option.
Sorry, that took 5,000 years. Wanted. Will of the Foswild. Special offer.
Yes. And then under it, it says, "How dare this ragamuffin defy me? Bring him to me alive and unharmed, and I'll grant you a loyal servant." And then underneath it says, "Nightshade."
Okay. Wow, everyone. Unfortunately, this wanted poster kind of looks like me with that curly hair, you know?
A little bit.
It does. It does. Zindi, go ahead and roll for insight.
Okay, cool.
I literally thought it was Zindi at first.
It actually looks, and it looks like Zindi, not just Jasmine. Insight. With disadvantage. Hold on.
Yeah, with disadvantage.
Cool. 10.
You like for sure think it's you, even though up at the top it says "Wanted, Will of the Feywild." But you get really shook. You get really shook because you're like, "Oh fuck, this is me!" Like,
what?
They're looking for me too.
Yeah, why? What have I done? I guess that I'm back. Do you
go by Will sometimes?
I don't think so, but honestly, I don't even remember anymore. Maybe everything is so different in the Fae. Hard to figure out sometimes if this is
amazing.
I'm just like really confused, and like everything is like changed so much, and like I'm having like a really major like dissociative, like how long have I actually been gone? Like maybe the Fae's always been like this. I'm like thinking about like the book I just read, the One True King, and
One True King.
I look at my buddies and I say, I don't know, like maybe the Fae has always been like this, and maybe it wasn't great. Maybe that the fate in that book of just this being doomed and us being in this like limbo forever. I don't know, man. Shit. And then I just like kind of like zone out.
Okay, yeah, so Zindi has like a crisis moment, and you guys make your way into the cave, I presume.
Yeah.
We do that.
Fantastic. Okay, so you guys go into the cave. It's not terribly, terribly deep, but eventually you get kind of to like the back of the cave. And do you guys announce your arrival at all? You guys say anything?
I'm gonna go with, I think, discretion probably is smart.
That makes sense. Even though like we kind of like know who the person is, but like they don't know us. We don't want to scare them.
Okay, so you don't announce your arrival.
No.
Okay. So you guys will come in, and like I said, it's not super deep back, but once you get kind of towards the end, you poke your head around like a corner essentially, and you see like a small, older human man. Really, the only thing distinguishable about him is that he is wearing a blindfold. And he's sitting at a spinning wheel, and he's literally surrounded, like Scrooge McDuck style, by mountains of gold.
Sick.
And as he's like spinning on the wheel, you guys notice that it's like gold fibers, and as he like runs out of fibers in his hands to spin, he just literally reaches down into some gold, and they instantly transform into gleaming gold fibers like in his hand.
Whoa.
Wow.
My lord, I don't know. Maybe should we keep with the king stuff?
I'm assuming that if we don't, if we do, let's see what happens.
Just to give you guys a note, since you guys like know now, this is like the mechanics of this and how this works. No one knows. The only reason that Bavlorna knew is because she knows about the Witchlight Carnival. And she's obviously like, there's obviously like a portal to and from the Witchlight Carnival, so she kind of had her nose in there. And obviously people who have been crowned Witchlight Monarch have somehow made their way into the Fae before. So she only knew that because like she's powerful and she has a connection to the Witchlight Carnival. Essentially, anyone who is Fae in the Feywild will just not be able to use your real name. So this is sort of like the Fae thing of like never give your true name. Meow Wolf literally cannot, like, even if he gave people his real name, they can't say it. So they can't like invoke his spirit or anything like that.
Okay.
Cool.
Cool. Well, my lord, you must, I guess, announce yourself then.
I think, okay, well, let's do it. So I walk forward. I notice all the gold around, and I go, hey there. How are you doing? I am the one true king.
He starts like he like jumps out of his chair, and he doesn't have any weapons or anything. It's and he goes, King, who are you?
I'm gonna do.
I was like, these are my associates.
I'm gonna roll persuasion. I rolled a 19, and I say, no, don't worry. I put my hands out. We're friends, Lisa.
With disadvantage.
With disadvantage. Well, sorry. Okay, 19 was my lower one then.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
We're friends of Lady Morgort.
Jeez. He sits back down in his chair, and he sort of like is like breathing super hard. Oh, you can't sneak up on an old man like that. You know, you guys are pretty close to him. Like you said, like the room is mostly just fucking gold. And He's just like an old man. He has like a little bed in the corner. He's here alone.
He's just fucking old.
He's just old. And he sits down, he goes back to spinning, and he goes, yes, Lady Morgort, yeah, she hasn't been here in quite some time, but she has my regards. What do you want? Who are you?
We are traveling these lands because we're in search of Zindu's mother.
I wave.
Your mother, you say? Well, he looks at you, like, and he has a blindfold on, so he looks right at, it's really odd, like, he definitely looks at you rather than like Klarga or Meow Wolf, and he goes, well, she lost.
I just kind of start fucking sweating because I really hope that he doesn't think I'm the person from the wanted poster. Well, I actually believe that she's been captured and that she's being, tortured by one of the hags.
Oh, yeah.
And my lord here is oh so gracious as to offer their resources to help me find my beloved mother. And we like some of your help.
Absolutely.
Looks at Meow Wolf. He goes, well, that's very kind of you. Kindness begets kindness. Yes, the hags love torturing souls. And he sort of sighs and he goes, I myself have led a cruel and heartless existence. You see all these riches? And he sort of like gestures.
I nod.
Well, I earned all of this by exploiting my tenants' misery, buying up condemned property, renting it out for an exorbitant fee. Well, Granny Nightshade helped me make amends. I told her I wanted to put my bad deeds behind me and my ill-gotten gains to good use. But she cursed me to dwell forever in this cave, spinning my gold into useful items for anyone who came my way.
Oh, so you're making useful items out of gold?
And they're free?
That is, yes, that is my curse.
And
He looks very pained to be giving away his treasure.
And there's like no catch for us?
Well, rule of reciprocity certainly applies, but
Of course.
I am quite literally cursed to give away my fortune.
I just kind of like pick up like a gold coin and I say like, I mean, so like they're not like these are these cursed too? Like, are we getting cursed stuff or?
Okay.
Just being really annoying to this poor old man, but he was a landlord, so fuck him.
Yeah. Okay, so like when I read that, I was like, immediately my party will have no sympathy for this dude because he's
yeah.
Sorry. He says, well, the gold, I wouldn't touch that, actually. The gold is sort of attached to me and the curse. But once I make it into another item, it sort of sheds that form. And, it's magic. I don't know that much about it.
Well, got it. So does that mean that you don't really leave this, like, drippy place that often, so you don't, like, really know what's going on?
People come, they give me news, they hang out while I make their things. I get some of the gossip.
Got it. Well, maybe you can point us in the direction of, what's her name? This hag?
Skabatha Nightshade.
Skabatha. So Skabatha is the one that gave you this curse.
Yes. He spits.
Interesting. What does Skabatha have against landlords? That's quite, I guess, leftist of her.
Well, I came here under the pretenses that I was going to start buying up houses in the Fae, and it was all going to be great. And then it was great for a little bit, and then I started getting older, and I started getting very guilty, and I realized that maybe I made people's lives extremely hard. And well, I went to Granny Nightshade because Zyvilna had ruled with gentleness and kindness for the most part, and I thought Granny Nightshade would do me a boon, and she fucked me.
Got it. That's
Like literally or figuratively?
Oh yes, figuratively.
My lord.
Yes, Skabatha's very small.
Well, we needed to know because the other one was married to so many.
True.
Oh yes, I do hear that Bavlorna has like a thing for frogs.
You don't even know.
Yeah, that's what I heard as well. But I don't think that's an issue anymore.
Well, listen, I am happy to make any gifts for you, and you guys may rest here. You seem tired, and when I am done, you may take your leave. I really, really urge you not to take any of the gold. And otherwise you'll be haunted.
Okay, no gold. But I guess like some really good weapons. That'd be great.
All right. All of you roll me just a straight up D8, no disadvantage.
Woo.
Everyone's like, ooh, stuff.
Yeah. 7 again.
6.
So 1d8. 8.
Okay, perfect. Ooh. Okay. Yes. He kind of like looks at each of you and he nods and he goes, well, you're welcome to stay in my cave. It should take me about a night or so to make these, and you're free to come and go as you wish.
Oh man, I need some rest. I don't know about you guys.
Same. I need to get in for a little swimmy swim in my sack.
Swimmy swim.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much longer I can stay awake.
And then as I say that, Keeks pops out of my breast coat and squeaks, squeak.
Oh, and then you Snoodles, by the way, like had already run in and just had immediately jumped. Well, first he jumped into the gold. and then as Nib was like, by the way, the gold's curse, you see Snoodles' head pop up and he's like, "Rrr?" And then he jumps out of the gold onto the bed. So he's literally like on the pillow. And he's already snoring.
That's adorable. I set up my water sack right next to Snoodles.
All right, so you guys kind of go down for the evening. As you guys are kind of floating off, everyone give me a perception check. This will be your last one with disadvantage.
Cool.
What are we we're rolling a d8 with disadvantage?
Perception.
15.
Perception with disadvantage. Alright, so we got a 12 and a Aw, and a nat 20, so the 12.
Okay, no worries. It was a DC 11. Okay, so Meow Wolf and Zindi just straight passes out. Zindi's like, all right, night. And Klarga, you kind of stay up for like a little bit. Like it's kind of one of those things where you're like, I'm literally about to pass out, and then when you actually lay down, you're like still kind of awake for a little bit.
Tired but wired.
Yes, tired but wired. And then Meow Wolf, you are getting comfy in your waterbed. You guys, like, Nib is not sleeping. He's just working on your guys' things. And so you glance over at him, and Klarga, you like blink, and you see like a grubby child peering over Nib's shoulder. And then Meow Wolf, you see a gaunt coachman like lurking in the shadows in the back of the cave. So and then as you guys like, right when you're like, wait, what was that? It vanishes, and you guys fall asleep.
Scary.
So you guys can take a long rest, and that should wipe your exhaustion.
Wipe my
Sweet.
exhaustion with my sleep.
And then, it gives you the option to recover it. Nice.
Take a long rest. Confirm. And we are ready to go. The exhaustion level didn't reset.
There
That's in here.
two different little like checks. And you had to check, like, reset exhaustion.
If it didn't automatically take it off, just manually take off the exhaustion. Yeah.
That's what I did.
Okay, so you guys wake up the next morning. Nib is no longer working at the spinning wheel. He is over into like his little cooking fire, and he's making some kind of like porridge gruel. Snoodles is up and about, kind of like sniffing around the cave, looking for rats and stuff. And then Keats spent for the first time in a cave at night, and is feeling extremely rested.
Wow, Keeks is like glowing.
Yeah.
Squeak.
I guess I've never actually heard Keeks be well rested for.
Did you guys notice that Keeks is like, I don't know, like there's just something different about him today.
Yeah. His cuticles like back.
Squeak, 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 squeak.
Yes, Keeks has actually become one of the birds from Cinderella. Okay, so Nib's still wearing his blindfold, and he's sort of just like poking at the porridge, and he says, he regards Keeks. He goes, I think the little guy got some rest, but how'd you guys sleep?
Wow, pretty damn good, if I do say so myself.
Excellent.
Kind of fitfully.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I had a weird dream where, like, first thing I dreamed of that night was, like, there was a weird guy in the shadows.
Oh, wow,
yeah.
I did not have that dream.
Yeah, so Nib actually takes off his blindfold, and his eyes are like they work totally fine. They're like he's not blind. And he says, I actually only wear this because of the apparitions.
What?
I'm haunted by my own words, and as long as my ill-gotten gains were put to good use, my bad deeds would remain behind me. But Granny Nightshade meant that the apparitions would always be in the corner of my eye, lurking, tormenting me. And so I wear the blindfold so I don't accidentally see them.
Is what Klarga saw? Some of your apparitions? Other people can see them too?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that's scary.
Don't take the gold. And he just puts the blindfold back on and keeps going about his ways. You guys eat breakfast, and he comes over to you and he says, "All right, well, I was working all night on these, so I hope you like them." Zindi. He presents you with a what it's called in the game is a wand of secrets.
Ooh,
And so the wand has 3 charges. So basically you can use an action to expend one of its charges. So you basically have like extra slots, I would imagine. I'm going to add all this to your inventory after, so don't trip.
I just added it.
Oh, perfect. Look at you guys working your things.
What does it do again? 3 charges detection? Yeah. Sorry, can you repeat? I didn't.
While holding it, you can use an action to expend one of its charges, and if a secret door or trap is within 30 feet of you, the wand pulses and points at the one nearest to you. The wand regains 1d3 expended charges daily at dawn. So essentially, it's giving you like 3 extra like hits as a spellcaster.
Wow.
He comes over to Klarga. Klarga,
hello.
He sort of is like kind of looks up at you. You're tall, and in his arms, it's really interesting because it's not a gold cloak as you would expect, but there is gold trimming on it. It's a absolutely gorgeous cloak, and it's a cloak of protection. You gain +1 bonus to AC and saving throws while you wear the cloak.
Ooh,
nice cloak.
Wow, that really suits you, Klarga.
I swish it around. Oh, you think?
Yeah.
Really?
Does it have pockets?
It has pockets.
Wow.
They're big ones too.
And as Klarga spins, it's just like a really beautiful, almost like a velvety blue. But as Klarga spins, you guys swear you can like see the night stars on it.
Oh my god. Aesthetic. You said +1 points to AC and what else?
Plus 10.
I think you get +1 to saving throws.
Oh, +1.
So essentially, if you were rolling a death saving throw and you rolled a 9, that's not a 10.
Nice.
And that's a save. And then finally, Nibs goes over to Meow Wolf and presents you with gloves. These are for sticky fingers, and he has like a really sly smile on his face. So these are gloves of thievery, Meow Wolf.
Oh, wow.
They are invisible while worn, and while wearing them, you gain a +5 to dexterity sleight of hand checks, and dexterity checks made to pick locks.
Well,
What's the point of taking them off?
There's you don't have to.
So I just put them on.
Yeah, so Meow Wolf puts them on, and like they were just such a beautiful like off-white color. They looked extremely elegant, almost like a satin. And it almost looked like silk or something that had gold in it. But as soon as Meow Wolf puts them on, it's gone. So that is your guys' special shit. And should all be giving you fun stuff to do. And Nib sort of like looks a little proud of himself, and he goes, the only good thing about my curse is seeing that I get to help some people sometimes. makes up for some of the bad I did on the material plane.
Yeah, these are pretty
he
cool.
looks over his shoulder like super nervously and like looks back. And so he goes, well, I know you guys are kind of new in town, but did you have any questions?
Yeah, where can we find Granny Nightshade?
Oh yeah. So listen, the forest. It's I can't tell you how to get anywhere because the forest doesn't really work like that.
Classic Faye. Am I right? And I laughed.
Yeah. There's no path. The pool, up a ways. I'm sure you saw when you were coming in. You can't get within 1,000 feet of it. You always are like being redirected, so it's just a far off pool. Now I know that Granny Nightshade. Let's see. What was that damn place called? He sort of like rubs his chin. He's like, oh yeah, Loom Lurch. That is where she spends her time. I believe that's where her workshop is. Oh, and he kind of like goes over to like his bed and sort of like rummages like under it a little bit, and he comes out with a piece of paper. And Zindi, it has like an extremely similar picture on it. And it still says like wanted Will of the Feywild and the picture, and it just has different wording. And he goes, oh, and he taps the page. He goes, yeah, Granny Nightshade. She's just obsessed with capturing this Will kid. Word has it he broke a bunch of kids out of Loomlurch. Don't know how he did that without getting himself killed, but yeah, he's kind of a hero at Loomlurch, and I think she doesn't want any of the other ones getting any ideas. So she's looking for this kid, wants to make an example of him.
Oh, got it. Hey, just as friends, what? You don't think I look like this guy, do you?
No, not at all.
Are you asking Nib?
Yeah, I'm asking Nib.
He takes like one little eye off the blindfold, like looks at the thing, looks at you, looks at the thing, looks at you, and he goes, huh. I mean, he doesn't not look like you.
I mean, it's me, okay? That's not me. I swear, I literally haven't been here in a while. Like,
oh, listen, I even if you were, I don't care. Me and Granny Nightshade, not on the best of terms. But listen, hey, if you see this little Will boy, tell him to keep up the good fight.
Got it.
Well, good luck. And he just sits back down and goes back to making his golden items. He quite literally cannot leave, as he said.
Got it. I'm kind of freaking out. I turn to my friends and I say, hold on, guys. Before we leave, I think I need to disguise myself a little bit more. This is, I don't, if we're going to be wandering around the forest, I want to make sure that people don't think I'm this damn Will. So I'm going to cast, and I just decide to cast a disguise self.
Do it up.
Oh, oops, accidentally just clicked it like 5 times. Okay, so I cast this disguise self, and I don't have to roll anything.
Go ahead and describe how you are disguising yourself.
Sure. I'm going to change my hair to like dark purple and like make it straight. And I'm gonna change like my nose and my eye color. I'm going to make my nose a little bit like kind of just like wider and bigger to like a totally different nose. And I changed my eyes from blue to brown. Okay.
Babes, you do know the posters in sepia, right?
Oh, well, I mean, the purple's for me.
Oh, fair. It does suit you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You're still an elf though, right?
Yeah.
Cool. All right, so you guys kind of begin trekking out.
Is anyone speaking?
Oh yeah, I'm. Can you hear me?
Fuck.
Yeah. I can hear you. I think it's you, Luna.
What?
Yeah.
Is Luna having sound issues?
Yeah, I think Clark's sound issues. Give her 1 sec. Oh, can you hear us now?
Blah blah blah.
Meow meow meow.
I heard, can you hear us now?
Maybe jump in and jump out, Klarga. Sometimes that happens. Possibly their headphones just died. No, because I can hear their mic lighting up.
Trying to add Gloves of Thievery to my character sheet.
Yes. Okay, so if you guys want to add your special items to your character sheet, what you're going to do is you are going to go in and click on inventory, and then there should be a manage inventory option.
Oh.
And then you can literally just type in gloves, and Gloves of Thievery should come up. There's so many.
I actually don't see it. I see gloves of missile snaring, gloves of swimming and climbing, gloves of alchemist supplies, gloves of bagpipes.
I'm dying.
Gloves of bagpipes. That's so weird that this is like a thing in here.
Yeah, it says living gloves, potter's tools, it's like a bunch of living glove stuff.
Huh. Okay, I'm gonna link this to you.
I put gloves of, and the only ones that gave me gloves of are... Oh, there we go. Living gloves, sleight of hand.
Maybe it's that.
Okay, I'm going to do that. Alright.
And I can just use mine as an action? Or at any time?
Let's see your character sheet here.
There we go. What do... Symbolic gloves.
Uh-oh.
That's...
Hello?
I think Luna just popped in now. Okay, you back, Klarga?
Yep.
Yay!
Okay, let me see. Oh, this is Klarga. LOL.
Those are...
Okay, let me just make sure that this is... Is it selected, Zindi?
What?
As in like, oh yeah, you gotta equip it. Here, I just did it for you. Okay.
Oh, got it.
Yes. So now under actions. Meow meow meow.
Are you talking to me or talking to Emma?
I'm just kind of muttering.
Oh, okay. I have a quick.
Yeah, the living gloves isn't it.
Huh.
But it's
I'll put a homebrew thing in there for you, and we'll just have to. Awesome. Even though it's literally on D&D Beyond, I don't get that. Has 3 charges. Well, yeah, it doesn't let you like use the wand how it should be used in your equipment here.
No, I have the wand. I think it's Emma that's having the issues with the gloves.
Yes, it's in your backpack, but it's not pulling up in like an action.
Oh, okay.
So just you can use it 3 times a day, and I will. The mechanics of it is you basically have 3 extra spell slots because you're casting it through this focus.
Got it. Cool.
So like, let's say you did like, what was like the thing that you did, like 3 suggestions? You can now do like 6 suggestions if you wanted to.
Wow.
Okay.
Unstoppable.
Unstoppable. Okay, so you guys make your way downtown. You guys start, walking, and the smell of rot is heavy in the air. It's cool in the forest, but you guys just hear like birds and strange kind of creatures in the background. It should be nice, but it's really just like kind of unsettling. Okay. Go ahead and everyone roll a perception check.
Perception check.
20.
20, okay.
14.
21.
Oh, wow. Way to one up. Meow Wolf, go ahead and roll a d8 for me.
A D8 coming your way. Let's see here. Meow, see. And roll for everyone. A 5. Cinco.
Okay. You guys are walking. It's pretty, it's early in the morning. You guys kind of just walk and you start getting to that point where you're like, have I seen this tree before? And you're just not sure. And then, eventually, you do come across something a little different. A gigantic, gnarled oak comes into view. So unlike the other oaks in the forest, this tree looks unhealthy, and it has like golden brown leaves instead of green, a thick carpet of dead leaves surround it, and there are also 3 rusty sickles lying on the leaves. And then standing next to each of the weapons is a goat.
Like a goat person or just a goat?
What's
No,
the nickname?
like just 3 random ass goats.
Okay.
Wait, are they alive?
Yeah.
Hey, guys, what do you think the nickname of this tree is? If just give it a guess.
Goat tree?
Try
goat tree. Oh my god.
The goats are like, "Bah!"
I think they're booing you.
And I laugh. I just laughed a lot more at that one than I did at Meow Wolf's joke. Hey, Klarga, you wanna could you check out these goats? I don't know. You're good with creatures.
Yeah. Can I roll animal handling?
Knock yourself out.
Sweet.
Can I also walk up to a goat
Sure.
and do an animal handling?
Yeah.
Animal handling. Dead air.
I roll an 18.
Great.
I try to
27,
pat
okay.
these goats on the head.
Yeah, so Meow Wolf and Klarga, you guys walk over to the goats. They're just like normal goats. They look a little sad maybe, but they're just like, "Bah!" And you guys start petting them. They nuzzle into you, and they don't seem hostile or anything. Then you guys
Hold on, I'm gonna try and pet one now.
Okay,
My turn.
you can pet it.
And just one of them bites me. I go over, I'm like, aw, wow, they're so cute. That's great. And I just get a bit, I get bit, and then another one tries to spit at me.
What did you roll?
A 7.
Oh, okay, yeah. The third one bites you.
Okay, cool.
And Zindi, as you cry out, you're like, ow. You guys see there are like little tiny houses made out of woven twigs that are nestled among the boughs of the trees that you didn't notice super way. And then all of the doors open and like 24 pixies all pop out at the same time and start just like chastising you and being like, get away from the goats!
I'm so sorry, Klarga, help me, I didn't mean it!
Are these your goats?
One of the pixies comes up, and there's 3 main pixies. So so they all come up, and one's redhead, one's blonde, and then one's brunette.
Nice.
And they all come up, and they're like, yeah, those goats, those are goats. Those are red caps.
Like the mushroom?
No, these are horrible little, they are a homicidal fey creature. Zindi, you have no knowledge of this?
Speaking?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Oh no.
I can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you, Klarga. I'm putting red caps in the thing for you guys.
Okay. Is it in the chat or the...
It's in our side chat.
Because I rolled a nat 20 on this, whilst no one was looking, I'm definitely riding one of the goats.
But wait, they're so the goats, it's these little like gnome men in disguise?
We polymorph them.
Okay. No! Lord! My lord! That's dangerous!
Luna, we can totally hear you. You just cannot hear us.
Sorry, y'all. I'm gonna move to the living room. There might be some better internet here.
Okay, sick. Can you hear us now?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So the blonde one, her name is Amaryllis. Amaryllis is like, yeah, those red caps, they came to come for our tree, and we weren't having it, and so we don't know what to do, but they're really, really, really dangerous, and they're goats. But the spell's gonna wear off soon.
Well, maybe Klarga can help you. Klarga's really good with animals. I say, still hiding behind Klarga, because the goats are like still really angry at me. Like they're just like trying to like continue to bite me.
Yeah, one goat is just like trying to like headbutt Zindi. And then like one goat seems particularly fond of Meow Wolf.
I'm riding the goat now.
That's dangerous.
I'm just like petting the side of its neck, and obviously you can see that my little like froggy slime is just like chilling on the goat's fur. So it's not getting like absorbed into the fur, but like you can tell that like I'm just playing with this goat, and this goat's just getting slopped up in my natural secretions.
Well, we were just gonna keep turning them into goats, but they don't like leave us alone. I think they want those sickles, but they can't have them. They're trying to take our tree.
What, these little guys? What do they turn into? What do they turn into again? What?
Evil, it's my lord.
Yes. Okay. So red caps, just because this is actually red caps are actually a new thing in the Fae. They were not a thing when Zindi was here, but they are just like bloodlust, little angry menaces. They
clearly something terrible, I presume, my lord.
It's apparently they're called red caps because they soak their caps in the blood of who they've felled.
Wow, that's very extra.
These innocent little goats, red caps? Crazy.
Disagree. I think it makes a lot of sense. terrible creatures.
Even the one that loves me? Even the one that loves me, though? This one seems extra nice.
Fake. My lady, it's fake.
Snoodles is like so jealous of Meow Wolf's goat and is like trying to square up with him. And he's like, "Rrr." And then the goat like bites at him.
But they're goats now, right? Like, what's the issue? You've turned them into goats.
Yeah, so
now
the spell's gonna
can't pick
wear
up
off
sickles.
in like 10 minutes.
Oh no.
So
I
what do
really
we-
like them being goats.
Yeah, I mean,
No.
we can turn them back into goats, but that's just they're just never gonna leave because they want the sickles and they want to get the tree, and like, we don't want them here, but they don't leave as goats. Like, it's just a whole thing.
Look, it seems like our pixie friends are being terrorized by these heinous creatures. Is that right?
Yes. You see all 24 pixies like, yeah.
My lord Klarga, we should just kill these goats. And I just like take out my dagger.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, you guys can fucking slay the goats for sure.
I take out my dagger and I just like fucking like stab the one that's like been like fucking with me.
Yeah, okay, you just like slit its throat. Okay.
Yeah, in lie.
I actually wasn't ready for this, and I got really sad because I'm like riding one happily, like it's like a fucking
So Meow Wolf's
pirate.
fully riding a goat. Snoodles is trying to bite at its ankles, and then Zindi's just had it, and straight takes out a dagger, slits her goat's throat, and one of the goats is dead.
Damn,
Does it
fuck you,
stay a goat?
And I just and I'm like covered in goat blood, like
Jesus Christ.
like fucking like seething. I'm over it. It's like,
And then
goat can't fight.
as you slit the goat's throat, like literally like before it drops, it turns into a red cap. So it has like white hair, like a white beard, long clawed fingers, and sort of like lean bony muscles, and sharp little fang teeth. And yeah, it's literally like it's dead. It's just its neck is slit.
I'm fucking disgusted. Ew! Oh my god!
And as I noticed that, as I'm sitting on top, trying to tell Snoodles to not bite the goat, I look over and I am also quite disgusted, and I go, Snoodles, attack the throat!
Snoodles literally like hops on over, takes the red cap into its mouth, and just like shakes it like a doll. Gets a little bit more blood everywhere.
Oh, right. Well, it's attacking the dead one. I was hoping it would get this live goat here, but I'm still riding the goat. So,
I come over and I just like I'm in like goat killing mode right now, like totally like
Zindi's on a tear.
Klarga can like Hulk out, like it's just for the goat because like I was just like so just like it sucked. So then I just like stabbed that one in the throat too.
Right, you slit the other goat's throat. And then that Meow Wolf was riding, and again instantly becomes a red cat. It like holds its throat and dies. And then Klarga's goat is now like like freaking out.
I take out my hand axe and I rip the goat's throat out.
All right, third goat's down, another red cat, and yeah, you guys are just literally like in a blood-soaked, like it's now just like so much blood on the floor. Snoodles is rolling in it, and the pixies are like, yay!
Phew, thank God. I was really scared my goat was really just gonna be a goat. And I'd feel bad.
Oh yeah, we would never lie like that. Have you guys ever, met any other pixies? And they look like super happy, like they're like, yeah.
In general, or
yeah, at the Witchlight, didn't we?
Yeah,
you guys have met
pixies.
a medley of. There was the. Oh, you guys have met sprites too. Now, not to be like this bitch, but like it's a little hard to tell the sprites and the pixies apart, you know.
But
Sure.
yes,
Not that I'd ever admit it to them.
No,
but
no.
we definitely met lots of pixies. We used to work with some pixies actually.
Oh yeah. Well, listen, you guys are awesome. Here, take these sickles. We don't need them.
Sweet, thanks.
I'm gonna roll an Arcana check.
Yeah.
Kind of weird that those creepy creatures wanted these things. I pick one up and I look at it. Sorry. Wow. 27. Just, guys, I think like the longer I'm in the Fae, the more I'm remembering about stuff.
Okay, so the sickles are literally just sickles.
What I remember is that these are just useless things. So.
Yeah, so you guys can absolutely one sickle for each of you. You can choose to use it or not. But the pixies sort of tell you that the red caps are kind of a new thing. Ever since not Bavlorna, ever since Granny Nightshade's kind of taken over, these have been kind of popping up everywhere, and the pixies have a theory that she is creating them somehow because they are not native to this land. While things in the Fae can be chaotic neutral, chaotic good, it's pretty rare that things are just straight up evil in the Fae. And they're just like, listen, this is just really bad and we don't want it to go any further. We would really appreciate if you could just listen, if you slit Skabatha Nightshade's throat like you did those goats, I think you guys are good.
Yeah, I mean,
Ew.
Hey, look, you said it, not us.
Well, I definitely think that anyone that's holding Zindi's mother hostage should no longer be allowed to do that to anyone ever again.
Thank you, my lord.
Oh yeah, these are horrible hags. They have absolutely no redeeming qualities. She runs a child sweatshop.
Cool, let's kill her. Where can we find her?
Yeah, see, all the pixies start arguing. So like some of the pixies are like, listen, so you go north, you're gonna take a left, and then once you see like a really distinguished looking rock, that's when you're gonna turn southeast, and then you see like other pixies just giving you really specific oddball directions. All of them are saying something different. You're literally just hearing 24 different like voices. And no one can agree on like where anything is.
Cool. Oh gosh. This is gonna take some time, guys, I think.
I got all the time in the world.
Well, if I need to marry this one, I will.
You're gonna share yourself with somebody.
Yeah, the pixies are like, I mean, like whatever floats your boat. Not here to like yuck your yum, but you know. So you guys, so they go back into their huts. They're like gossiping. They're like, is that bullywug gonna marry Skabatha Nightshade? You guys continue walking on. It's like mid-afternoon now. Everyone go ahead and give me a nature and survival check.
Nature. 14 on nature.
Nature.
19 on nature.
Nice.
And a survival.
13 on survival.
Okay, well, I got a 27, like, perfect score on nature, but
wow.
a 10 on survival.
Okay. And then Klarga got a 19 on... Okay, who got a high survival score?
I got a 24.
Okay. Okay, so you guys are walking along, and Zindi, you know, you're sort of just, like, taking this all in. it really hitting you how much the Fae has changed and just how sad everyone is now and how desolate everything is. And you're just kind of looking at your feet. And then all of a sudden, your foot, you kind of do almost like a little fall forward. And it's because you have stepped into a monstrous claw print on the forest floor.
Whoa! What's Jesus?
So you look at the paw print, and with your chef's kiss of a nature check, it's big. It's big, and it has like really deep claw marks. And your blood goes cold, and you're like, this is some kind of dragon thing, and it's big.
I just I'm kind of speechless. And then I just start pantomiming, and I'm pantomiming pantomiming just my arm waving huge, and I'm like dragon.
You twirl your mustache Sir Talvar.
Dragon, the dragon print.
Oh goodness.
Oh no.
And then Meow Wolf, as Zindi says, "Oh, this is a dragon," you see, you kind of see the trail, and you guys follow it for just a little bit, as Zindi's sort of pointing it out, and it stops extremely abruptly. And Meow Wolf, you're like, "Oh, this bitch can fly."
Mm-hmm. Yep, this can definitely get up in the air and move around like a fish.
Well, yes, my lord, it is a dragon, as I said.
Well, I sure was hoping we wouldn't have to run into this problem for a while.
Well, I laugh, maybe it's just, he's nice, like Sir Talvar. Not really convincing myself, though.
Didn't we get, specifically that he was not nice like Sir Talvar?
I mean, it could be another dragon.
Maybe.
Let's not worry about it now. Ha 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 ha. And I just, I kind of run ahead. I'm freaking out.
So Zindi's just actively freaking out. Klarga and Meow Wolf, this gives you a lot of pause because, I mean, even if it's not a dragon, although it certainly looks like a dragon, something this large that can fly and has big claws like that, just not the biz. Just not something you want to run into.
Yeah, no, I don't think we'd do well if we did.
So you guys continue walking, and you kind of you kind of get on almost a little path, and you're just walking on the path. Da-da-da. Everyone, go ahead and give me a perception check.
Perception.
13.
I also got 13. Oops.
Lucky 13.
21.
21. Okay. Meow Wolf, your keen grung eyes. You see something kind of odd, in the distance. Something in the middle of the path, and you hear a faint cry. But not the cry of a child, the cry of a beast almost. And it's ah!
The sound right now?
See, we can't hear you.
Oh, it loves to mute me. You can just hear a faint
Ah, yes.
That
does not sound human.
That sounds much bigger than Sir Talabar.
Do you think it's injured in the distance?
Oh, we can only hope.
So you guys keep walking. As you guys kind of near what Meow Wolf points you in the direction of, you see a very strange sight. You guys see, like, first you see a little flag, and then you see almost like a little chariot, almost as if for racing or something. And then you see a large but young owlbear.
I love those.
And the owlbear is harnessed to the chariot. And I have my little owlbear guy here.
This is the type of person that like carries like in like ancient Roman stuff, right?
Correct.
Got it.
Am I able to do?
The Bible had a lot of these.
Am I able to do any animal handling to see if I can get close to the owlbear?
Everyone make me an animal handling check.
Hell yeah.
I want to get really close and really great, Zindi.
21.
Nice.
Oof.
Actually, I have animal handling.
I have an 11.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, I got a 17.
All right. So, Zindi, you are like everyone knows that owlbears are extremely dangerous. This looks to be almost like a baby owlbear. Like, it's pretty young. You're like, listen,
an owl bear.
an owlbear.
Got it. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
That's not. Now I understand.
And but this one,
rip your heart out and rip your heart out.
yeah, like this one sort of seems like it. I mean, it's chained to the chariot, and it's sad, and it hasn't just like straight ripped itself from the chariot. It's just laying on the ground, like crying.
Got it. And I put a fist out and I go, hey guy, hey little guy, hey.
They nuzzle you.
Oh, how cute!
Look, we're friends. And I give him little chin scratches, and little cheek scratches, and I say, hey, what's up? Like, are you okay? And I guess I'm gonna do a nature check. Like, I want to like know about.
Yeah, so you can do a nature check on the owlbear, and then Klarga and Meow Wolf, if you guys want to roll an investigation check to kind of just see like what's going on.
Cool. I got a 22.
Okay, great.
Oh, I used to grow up around owlbears. I love them so much.
I am investigating nothing.
That man is an owlbear.
I am the one true king, and I am just in awe of this owlbear and how
You're
I can
like a new pet, bitch. Like,
yeah, I'm basically like I want to be able to turn into this pretty soon.
Oh yeah.
Yes. We'll get into the discourse of like whether or not you can wild shape into an owlbear. I'm totally gonna let you. Okay. So, owlbears. This is what you know about them, Zindi. They have a reputation for ferocity and aggression. They are one of the most feared predators of the wild. They are very hard to keep in captive. But if you are able to raise one as like a baby, you know, you could have a very powerful beast by your side. It's just an extremely finicky animal. It's basically like having a fucking bear. And they typically hunt alone or in mated pairs. So you know, that also kind of creates an issue where like they tend to need a mate at some point. You see that she has a collar, and on the collar it has a juniper leaf on it.
Juniper? Is that your name? Little Juneberry? Junebug? Junie Booney? And I just, she rolls over and I start, like, rubbing her belly. And I go, I know, guys, it's crazy, but I usually am kind of not so great with animals, but I've always had just such a love for these guys. And when I was little, I would run out to the forest when everyone was mean to me, and I made friends with a little owl bear, and I just, just go, oh, Junie, oh gosh, we gotta get you here. Are you okay? And I, like, look at, like, where she's chained.
Yeah, so she just was, like, harnessed into the chariot. Klarga, with your 13, so you take a look at the chariot, that shit's busted. There's, like, fully, like, someone was snatched up out of this chariot. Like, the whole back is, like, broken, almost as if someone, like, came and just, like, ripped up. So you're kind of surmising, damn, someone was like, this is someone's pet owlbear. The chariot's kind of fancy, so you're like, this is someone who was, like, traveling and they got taken, and then you're like, they probably got taken by that dragon thing, if I had to guess. And the owlbear, like, either was too small and young to, like, really go for it, or it happened too quickly. And since the owlbear's chained, the owlbear can't, like, fly and get the dragon. It's just sort of like one of those instances where you're like, well, didn't see that one coming.
Would an owlbear usually be a match for a dragon?
If this was like a full-grown owlbear and it had been trained to fight, and then, like, maybe if the dragon was smaller and younger, maybe for sure.
I want to do an investigation. Or I guess, I want to try and, like, unharness Junebug. 19, yes.
Yeah.
We need to take baby June here with us. And
Snoodles is shitting bricks, by the way. Snoodles is like, what the fuck is this?
Snoodles, don't worry. I won't let her.
Y'all, something bad happened here.
Yeah, clearly, and I mean, we can't just leave her. I think she's alone.
I think you're right. This is your baby. We should take her with us. Because I think she might no longer have a home.
I've never been happier, even though everybody's also kind of like, this is really scary, though.
Okay, so, Zindi, here's gonna be the other piece I tell you.
Got it.
You may I'm absolutely 100%, we can take this owlbear. However, you will need to feed Juniper 8 pounds of meat every day.
Okay.
Or she will eat you.
Do I have to, like, roll for that every day or something?
You're gonna have to, like, articulate that you are hunting for Juniper's food, or you at least, like, hunt alongside. Like, you're gonna have to sort of, like, make this a part of your role-playing day-to-day of, like, I feed Juniper, I spend an hour or two hunting for her, like, da-da-da. So this is gonna be, like, a time sync element, and just, like, something for you to remember of, like, you have to do this in order for this animal to be loyal to you. This is not a Snoodles or Peak situation. However, if you took, like, the Find Familiar or some other kind of spell like that, I would allow you to attune yourself to the owlbear after a little bit, and you would not have to be so involved in feeding her. Eventually, she's gonna be big enough to hunt for herself.
Got it. Do I need to add that now, or is that just something you?
That's just something you have to remember, and I will also have to remember. But yeah, you have an owlbear now.
Well, okay, guys. Sorry, but I want a pet. So.
Awesome.
An owlbear is a big responsibility, young lady.
No, Klarga, I understand that. It's fine, and nothing bad will happen.
Oh, good.
Cue music.
Yeah.
I ain't cleaning up no owl pellets.
Yes. That's something you're gonna have to do. You gotta groom her. You gotta bathe her. It's a whole thing. Damn, you guys. I'm gonna have to come up with Klarga, a pet for Klarga.
Yes.
Okay. Well, okay. So, yes. Now, the chariot is still workable. So, but it can only hold 2 medium creatures and their gear. So, essentially, Zindi could like ride on the back of Juniper, and then Klarga and Meow Wolf can ride in the back if you guys want to just have a chariot now.
Guys, let's do it.
All right, so you guys get up in the chariot.
Noodles on Klarga's lap.
Yeah, Snoodles is like hella shook, but also maybe like, ooh, playmate. Klarga, you're already like thinking of ideas of how you're gonna trick out the chariot, like Pimp My Ride style.
Oh yeah.
You're like, okay, so listen, I'm gonna redo this flag. Okay, go ahead. Klarga, roll me a d4.
Okay. D4 to everyone roll. 3.
Amazing. Okay, so you guys like making your way through the forest. By now, it's getting close to sunset. You guys are kind of maybe talking about like we should pack it in for the night before it gets too crazy dark. It is pretty dark in the woods. You guys, Zindi and Juniper are bonding. Snoodles falls asleep in the cart. And you guys, like I said, it's close to camp time, so you guys find a sort of like small clearing by like a little stream, pull up camp, and you guys are sort of just resting, making dinner.
Cool. And I say, hey everybody, I have to go hunt for my new pet.
Perfect.
Good girl,
Okay.
Zindi.
There you go. So Zindi, like I said, there's still light out, but you're kind of like, okay, I gotta make this quick so Juniper can get fed. And you take let me see,
Help me hunt.
Oh, you have a crossbow. Okay, yeah. So you take your crossbow out, and you're like, all right, cool. I'm just gonna kill like a deer or something.
Yeah, and I'm using Noodles as like a hunting dog.
And she does like a really good point. So Zindi, you're hunting for like a little bit. You get a couple rabbits in, and you hear a branch crack over the ways, and Snoodles starts growling, and you're like, oh shit. And you, as soon as you go to point your crossbow over, you at first you're like, it's a deer, cool, I've been looking for that, and you like almost pull the trigger, and then out steps a centaur.
Whoa.
And he almost like has his hands up like in sort of like a peace thing, and he goes, sister, do not shoot.
Whoa. I'm sorry, sir. I'm gonna do an investigation of, is he hot?
Yes.
Oh shit, he is hot.
He is hot.
Wow.
He is hot. But he's like older, so he's like daddy. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
but like more like granddad. Like centaurs, they do live a long time. But he looks old. He looks a little worse for wear as well.
Jeff Goldblum, but like with like a scar.
Silver fox.
And he sees Snoodles, and he sees your crossbow, and he goes, I do not wish you or your party any harm. I am simply an old centaur, and I was hoping to join you at your fire this evening. I haven't had company in so long.
Company, you say? Can I do, I guess, an Arcana check?
Sure.
On, like, what do I know about centaurs? Okay, 19.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So centaurs are very of the Fae. Long lived species such as elves.
Is it like there's no like a person? Like there's good people, bad people, like
Yeah, centaurs are a little strange. They're pretty reclusive. They're nomadic. They avoid conflict. But they are like warriors when they are pressed, and they essentially they tend to carve out pieces of the Fae for themselves, and sort of they're not like against outsiders, but it's very uncommon for other people to live amongst centaurs. Not a ton is known about them. They study the stars. They're sort of known as omen readers.
Okay.
Yeah,
got it.
like
okay, so this just foxy centaur man is asking me to have dinner with him, and I say, oh my god, are you asking him to... Wow. And I just like my hair's, I guess, kind of longer and purple now, and I'm like, wow, this is crazy. And yeah.
Yes. He like bows and he says, "Sister of the Fae, if I may be so bold, I would love to accompany you at your fire this evening."
And I jump in and I go, "Hey, I can teach you how to make a real good consomme."
I apologize. My lord, I did not see you there. This is my new friend, and I realize I don't know their name. And so I just kind of jump.
The name is Winterbow, and again, a deep bow. And he sort of like perks up and he goes, "I do love a consomme."
Fantastic.
Hold on. I like, kind of like get over the fact that like he's super hot and like my like better judgment like takes over, and I go, I'm sorry, sir, but this is quite unusual, but we've just met, and I don't mean to be rude, but I've never come across a centaur who is really wanted to just have dinner with a half elf and her frog friend. What are your intentions? And I drop like the thing, and I'm like kind of serious now. I'm like, sister.
Yes, tis true. It is very uncommon for centaurs to mix with others. However, I have been in these woods by myself for a long time. You see, when Prismere was taken over, when the change happened, they all galloped away safely between the mists, and I do not know where they are, and they left me here. I was too old to keep up.
You're saying that you don't know any other centaurs? You've been alone this whole time?
Yes, the centaurs seem to have escaped to the summer court, and I am trapped here.
I'm still not so sure. I want to be really certain. So I'm gonna.
Well, you have spells for sure.
Well, I'm gonna cast a zone of truth, and I snap my fingers and I go, "Reveal yourself," just in case.
He looks around confused, and he goes, "My apologies, sister. Have I offended you in some way? I do not mean to intrude. If you do not have room at your fire, then I will simply move on."
I look down at Meow Wolf, and I whisper, and I guess, and I say, looks like he's honest. Consomme it is?
Indeed.
Okay, so I take what's his name again?
Winterbow.
I take
Winterbow.
Mr. Winterbow back to the to our
Okay.
with the food for little Junebug.
Okay, perfect. So you got some rabbits for Juniper, and you kind of just like fling them in her direction, and she's like, "Arr!" and just straight like eats 2 of them whole. And then her and Snoodles start like trying to go after a rabbit, and then Juniper gets like a little too aggressive and is like, and Snoodles backs right off. And she's happily eating her food. Winterbow, again, as he walks by the fire, he is like, you can see like he's slow, like it almost looks like it hurts him to walk a little.
Okay,
He
stop
walks
him.
very
Go.
laboriously.
Feels weird to simp on him now. I'm joking.
Yeah, I mean, like, even if he was disabled, you could still simp over him. You know what I mean? But,
I'm not disabled.
yeah, I mean, he's written as old, but for a centaur,
Oh,
like,
got it.
You know, he could be.
Is he like limping more than like a centaur of his age should be?
Nah, he's just like.
Got it.
His speed, mechanically, his speed is reduced. So like a normal centaur can move like 50 feet, and he can only move like 25. So there's literally a mechanical thing of like, he just wasn't quick enough.
Is this like a sword? Can he be kind of like using his sword like a cane? That's really cool.
Yes, he does have weapons. He's obviously, you know, like he has to eat and stuff, so he is like hunting things in the woods. Centaurs are kind of like, they're almost like monks, sort of, where they like train to fight, but they don't go looking for a fight.
Mm-hmm.
They're known to be extremely deadly in a fight, though. Yeah.
You don't want to fuck with them.
So he's sort of just, I mean, he's half horse, so he doesn't really, like, sit on a chair or anything. He just kind of sits by the fire. He sort of, like, looks over to Juniper, does, like, a nod, like, okay. Regards Meow Wolf and Klarga, and he's like, a very merry band you have here.
Oh, you like the little croc pup, Snoodles, and my little guy Keeks?
Oh yes, quite enchanting. He sort of like does like a second look at Keeks, and it says, yes, many pets.
I laugh really awkward again, like full Tina Belter laugh, like I'm like across the fire from him, and then I just like look down at my tea.
Oh, whoa, nice to meet you. I've never actually met a real centaur before. The only person I ever met was, like, someone enchanted to be half-horse.
Really? Do tell. I'm very fascinated by this. He literally sidles right up to Klarga and is like, tell me all about this non-centaur half-horse.
Wow, I'm like kind of jealous, but also like need to know, like, so was it like top half or bottom half? or like straight down the middle?
You
met her at the carnival.
You met her at the carnival.
We met her at the carnival?
Diana Cloppington is not a centaur. She is just a human who made a bad deal.
Wow, guys, this is the tea, and then I sip my tea. That's crazy.
Yeah, she was really sensitive about it. She didn't like to be asked about it, but she also didn't like to be called a centaur.
Oh, got it. Well, I mean, I don't know if we're ever going to be going back there, but now I know, and I won't say that, because, frankly, Mr. What the fuck is his name? Winterbow, sorry. Mr. Winterbow, you would never have guessed that she was enchanted.
Honestly. She looked like she was made to be half-horse.
Wow, this is quite enchanting.
I thought y'all were messing with me when you said she wasn't a centaur. I just assumed that you were just like going like, you know, playing the not game. Like, it's not gonna happen, huh? So thank you for really clarifying because you could never tell.
Yeah, honestly.
Oh, I wish I could meet this Miss Cloppington. I have many questions. I do not think that there is another like her in the whole world.
Yeah, I don't think so either. She's one of a kind.
He nods.
I always hoped she'd embrace herself, like, as her new identity as centaur, but she never did.
Yes.
I think it's one thing if it's something that you've embraced and wanted to become. It's another thing if it's bestowed upon you without your choice.
Yes, did
Yeah,
she ever
that's
tell
true.
you what the deal was that she made?
No, she was always really sensitive and shy about it. Really sad.
Yes, yes.
I actually, growing up here in the Fae, I knew a girl who actually had something like that happen once.
Really?
Yeah, but like it was with sorry. Yeah, she actually traded her voice to a sea witch. That was the deal. And then
wow.
her like bottom half like took like swapped. Yeah.
Oh no.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean like it worked out well. She got her voice back because like honestly like the contract was like totally like it like wasn't legal. So yeah, and she's happily married now to like a prince.
Wow, good for her.
So maybe that's what it was.
One must be pertinent to read the fine print before entering any deal, especially with these hags.
Oh, are you familiar with the hags, Mr. Winterbow? We're actually quite interested in the hag Granny Nightshade herself.
Ah, yes. Skabatha. He sort of like shudders. The reason that my life was stolen from me early. He says, I have sought long and far across the forest to find an answer and see if there's anything I can do to overcome this witch, but she is much too powerful for me to face alone, and without my herd by my side, I am but one centaur.
I look at my friends, and I'm like, what? You know, like eye wiggling, like, can we get this like big ass hunk to help us? But with my eyes only.
Thinking that you still have Sir Talvar that can read your thoughts.
Oh yeah, hysterical. I'm dying, and I'm just like,
you're thinking
I'm like
so hard at them, like
anything, but I'm like doing a lot of like silent gesturing and like, you know.
I waggle my eyebrows back, like, yeah, he's hot.
I've never seen you behave this way, so I just go, what's the matter with your eyes? Like, why are you gesturing? I don't get what you're trying to. Oh, yeah. We should fight together.
Yeah. Well, this is, I don't know, quite a surprise, Mr. Winterbow, but we are actually on our way to have a like kind of duel with this bitch Granny Nightshade ourselves. It seems that she's torturing my mother, and also like we have like a bone to pick with you know, her whole like slavery situation. So like we're gonna like kill her and free everybody working for her. So if like you're going, like, I mean, maybe we could like go together. You know, I mean, like, no pressure though.
And we are actually trying to help folks at the carnival. So, are you there?
Yeah.
We are.
yes.
Yeah. We are trying to help the carnival, and you might be able to meet. What's her name?
Diana Cloppington.
Lady Cloppington. Wow, that's a really unfortunate name. Is that her given name?
You know, she never said.
Yeah, you know, she never said. Yeah.
And I look right at Zindi and I start twirling my hair and I go, yeah, Mr. Winterbow, would you come with us?
I am fucking dying.
Winterbow is like, he's not, like, he doesn't understand that
He's
you
not
guys are
good.
sort of like joking with each other. Like, he doesn't have like interactions like this with
Uh-oh, you
others.
cut
So
out.
he's just like, yeah, yes, this is agreeable to me. I would be honored to fight by your side. And he sort of like looks at the owlbear and he goes, this is a very beautiful beast. Very rare to have one in captivity.
Oh, well, you know, they're never really fully in captivity, but we met this one today, and I think that we're just gonna be good friends. So, you know, I have her along for the ride, and then, you know,
He gets up and he goes over to Juniper, who's like kind of done eating, and he reaches out a hand and she sort of sniffs, looks at him, he looks at her. There's like a moment and then she relaxes and he pets her and he goes, yes, if you train this owlbear, it will become a loyal companion. They do require much meat. I am happy to help you hunt with, what did you say the creature's name was?
Oh, well, her tag says Juniperberry.
Ah, yes, quite a lovely name for such a creature. Well, yes, I do wish to rejoin my herd before my final days, and if I perish helping others, so be it. Yes, I will quest with you. And
Definitely no perishing. We're not trying to like die here, right, guys? Like, no. We've seen some fights before.
We are apt and skilled at what we need to do.
I would love to
Yeah,
attend.
we're all gonna make it through alive.
I would love to attend the Witchlight Carnival and meet this Stein Cloppington.
We have an extra ticket for you.
Oh, what?
We have, and then I go rummaging through the things. Is it me that has a ticket, y'all, or do either of y'all have?
I think Klarga took it, but I mean, you know, up to y'all whether or not you guys argue about that.
I just like look through my pockets. I don't have it.
Yeah, I think I have it. Backpack. An unpunched ticket from the Witchlight Carnival, yep. Yeah, we've got an extra ticket right here.
Oh, wonderful. How enchanting. He sort of like turns it over like it's like a holy artifact in his arm. Yes. And he says, and he doesn't read common. He kind of speaks like a very stuffy common, and he goes, wonderful. And he sort of like puts it in his pouch. And he goes, well, it is decided then. We will vanquish Skabatha, and we will celebrate with the carnival. And he looks kind of happy about it. He showed the most emotion he showed the whole time. Yeah.
Do you know how to get us there by any chance?
Well, you see, the forest is alive, and it changes every dawn. However, I'm a centaur of these lands, and I have an uncanny sense of direction. So, wherever Loom Lurch is for that day, I will be able to guide us.
Fantastic.
Wow, we're really gonna do this, guys. We're gonna save my mother. And I take my teacup and I raise it and I say, huzzah!
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 Yay!
To Alestra and to new friends.
Yes, to new friends. And you guys finish your dinner. You guys all fall asleep, and we are going to end that here. I think that's a perfect ending spot.
What a great ending!
So good. Oh my god. Okay,
I'm so stoked on new party member.
I know, so many party members.
I want to talk about it, but let me get some water real quick.
Okay, one sec. Gonna end the stream.